Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great week thus far. A little bit different of scenery here today. I'm in my hotel room in Dallas, Texas. So you'll see the nice Builders of Authority background I quickly made with the B from the logo, the B and the A hook. But yeah, we'll roll here in a second. We'll let a couple people hop on, making sure everything is lined up, making sure y'all can hear me. Which it looks like you can. So here in Dallas for Job Tread Connect, we have another live that I'll be doing in about an hour with Sebastian Rusk to talk about an event we're doing. So won't give too many more details, but make sure you attend that live or catch the replay of it. And here in here in Dallas for Job Tread Connects, I'll be speaking at the event tomorrow. And then Height is a gold sponsor for the event. But I wanted to make sure that I'm consistent with coming to you all and not making excuses and all those things when it comes with this free training. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because we're at, I think, 22 members now in our group mastermind at Builders of Authority, which is our paid program. We have 3 calls a week, which I know I touch on quite a bit. If you're interested, you can go to buildauthority.co and learn a little bit more about our different offers. But some of our mastermind members that are showing up each and every single week, that are taking action, that are doing all these amazing things, are like winning at insane amounts of levels. They're starting their podcast for the first time. People are getting speaking events. They're growing their business simultaneously to all of the personal brand stuff that we're doing. People are making posts differently than they've done before based on some of the tips and the information that we're giving, and they're getting the most engagement they've ever had. So there's a lot of amazing things that are happening out of that group. So I know that if I can continue to show up and do these live trainings, regardless of the circumstances, whether I'm traveling and I just don't want to do it and all those things, I know that if one person watches this and ultimately gets benefit from it, then it's all worth it. We had 2 people that actually signed up from last week's webinar. They literally got on the live, saw the live, and ended up signing up for our program. So if you're interested, again, I don't like to get on here and just sell, but I do want to make sure that people, if you're watching for the first time, or if you want more information about it, again, go to buildauthority.co. But it's $500 a month now, or $5,000 for the year in our group mastermind. We have 3 weekly calls. You get access to a private Facebook group, and you get a 45-minute onboarding call with myself, as well as access to the personal branding course that'll be launching here later this month. So I'll get off that soapbox. I'll get off that. But if you have any questions, more information, things like that, let me know. As always, during these live trainings on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central, if you have questions, put those questions in the comments. The more questions that we get, whether it's about today's topic or just about personal branding in general, it doesn't have to be exactly what we're talking about today, although that's great. Please continue to do that. It makes for a much better live. And the questions that you might think, hey, I don't know if I should ask this for one reason or another, I guarantee you somebody else has that exact same question. So don't feel like you can't ask the question. Just go ahead and ask it. The reason behind today's training of Story, Tell, Don't Sell is because last week I did a training on how I got speaking events and how I turned one speaking event into more speaking events. I'm at a event right now, and I'll be speaking on stage at Job Tread Connect tomorrow afternoon. And I thought it was a really good segue into how you can leverage what we're going to talk about today into all pieces of your content. So let's just say you're a guest on somebody's podcast, or you're hosting your own podcast. You're posting on your own social media channels. You're speaking at an event. There's all these different things that kind of come together about building your personal brand. And when you're building your personal brand with all of those things, you have to form communication, right? Whether it's written communication or it's spoken communication. And the one thing that everybody wants to go do when they're actually communicating with other people is they want to go sell. They want to go grow their business. Hey, Adam, if I start personal branding today, or I take personal branding seriously today, or I go speak on this stage, when am I going to get ROI? When am I going to get clients? Well, people can see literally right through that. No differently than people can see right through the content if you're literally just showing up and every single day you are trying to pitch somebody with an offer or your product, or every single post has to do with you or your business and not them, right? So the framework behind all of this stuff is everybody loves a good story and nobody wants to be sold. I'll repeat that again. Everybody loves a good story and nobody wants to be sold. So I don't care if you're speaking on stage to hundreds of people. I don't care if you're interviewing or getting interviewed on somebody's podcast and that podcast is going to go out to a bunch of people. I don't care if you're making a reel and you're trying to, again, ultimately grow your business or grow your personal brand from it, or you're writing a very, very simple Facebook post. In all of those aspects, you need to be thinking about what is in it for them. Them being the person on the other side of whatever the receiving aspect, whether it's text or text to written content or video or you speaking on stage in front of them. Think about what's in it for them. And where most people break down or they don't even get to is they start thinking, what's in it for me? So if I'm going to go make posts for a straight week, what am I going to get out of it, Adam, as the person that's posting? When the reverse psychology should really be, what is my audience going to get out of it? What value am I going to provide this week? So that way people can consume the content and ultimately then take an action. And when we're talking about taking an action, that could be many things. That could be liking, that could be commenting, that could be sharing. What people don't realize is that every piece of engagement, every action item that is taken gets you one step closer to your ultimate goal of having a bigger impact, of selling another deal or widget or product, and or getting that next opportunity. So there's all these little small wins across the aspect of really what we're trying to do with personal branding and content and all of those things. But so many people, again, think about, what am I going to get out of it? I'm taking time, I'm taking energy, I'm spending money, I'm doing all these things. What am I going to get out of it? When you really need to be thinking about, what is my audience going to get out of this? What value am I going to provide to them? And so when you think about it in that light, you start to take a look at your content. You start to take a look about what you're talking about on stage and how you're answering questions on a podcast differently. Because what, as humans, we always tend to sometimes forget is that the people that we're talking to absolutely love talking about one thing first, which is themselves. Now, I'm not saying everybody's selfish. I'm not saying all those things, but like, if somebody asks you a question, you typically default to and go me, because you want to, again, promote your stuff. But if you reverse engineer that again and use reverse psychology, ultimately, if you can provide content and speak to somebody and provide them what they're looking for without asking for anything in return, then ultimately they're going to look at you in a different light. They're going to say, okay, well, there's hundreds of different options when it comes to digital marketing that's out there. Adam is not selling me on his digital marketing services each and every single day. When all of his competitors are making consistent posts about a heat map, or they're sharing like fake results that happened one time for one client and a bunch of his buddies of clients that literally currently aren't still paying. You guys see that literally all over, right? And so that's why I've had success doing what I've done, is because 90+% of my content has nothing to do with me, meaning I'm not trying to go sell something. I'm not trying to go promote. I'm not trying to do all those things. It has something to do with me, but ultimately I'm telling a story and it's more for them than it is for me. And when you utilize that framework, doors start to open up and people start to break down the ultimate barrier, because they're so used to going on social media and seeing one of two things. They're used to seeing a ton of ads, which people don't usually like those. And they're also used to people just getting and taking a microphone and boasting and being like, this is why I'm the greatest digital marketing company that's out here. Here's a heat map that I literally fake made to make it seem like I know what I'm doing and crushing it. And here's this course that I took, and here's how much money I'm making, and here's how much my clients are doing, when really it was one client one time 10 years ago. People don't buy like that. And if they do buy like that, if they're looking to get hooked in on some crafty offer or some bogus little spiel, they're going to be the quickest to leave or charge back. So if you think, oh, wow, I'm going to get them in because of how I'm literally talking about something that I did, or I'm talking about myself, ultimately, they're going to go out just as quick as they came in. So if you guys are watching this, again, give it a like, give it a heart, preferably a heart. I love hearts better than likes, but feel free to ask some questions, again, whether it's about today's topic of storytelling, don't sell, or if it's about personal branding in general. Anything that we've talked about, anything that you have questions on. So when I'm taking a look, and I'll give you a good example, like in the marketing space, in my space, how I would do things differently, or how I do things differently when I'm writing a post. And here's a quick framework on how to utilize it versus what the standard is and how I stick out from the crowd. So you're a digital marketing agency, or you're any business. This goes for any industry, literally. And I'm wanting to share client results, right? I'm wanting to share client results. I'm wanting to share, I did incredible for Mr. Smith. So the old fashioned way, the way that 99% of marketers are going to do it, is they're going to show some bogus little Photoshop screenshot, whatever, of a results or a something, or literally fake news. And they're going to say, hey, we helped out Mr. Smith get $50 million last year in his business, and here's how much return on investment he got. Like that, that's literally posts. You guys all know the people that are doing stuff out there like that. That right there, almost from most points of view of people, screams and smells immediate BS. Like there's no way that that's actually possible. It's too good to be true. It's usually too good to be true. The flip side of writing that post, and how I've wrote those posts in the past, is I will share a picture of me with a client of mine, or a picture of the client, or a picture of a lead dashboard, or of a website, or of something that people are typically used to seeing. And I'm not going to make it crazily outrageous. And what I'm going to say is Mr. Smith reached out to me after watching my content for 6 months. And when we first started talking, he said, Adam, I've seen you tagged on other posts about digital marketing. I know other people that are working with you. And ultimately, I've been in business for 20 years. And I've worked with some other marketing companies, and I feel like I've always been taken advantage of. We hopped on a quick call. I walked through Mr. Smith on, hey, here's what we do. Here's our process. Here's how we can help. Mr. Smith ended up signing up with us. And when Mr. Smith signed up with us, he literally said, hey, this is my budget with marketing and advertising, and this is ultimately what I'm looking to get out of it. Here's 6 months from now. And after 6 months of working with us, not only does Mr. Smith have more leads than he's ever had before, it's the best return on investment he's ever had with his marketing and advertising dollars, but he was actually able to add a new truck to his business, hire 2 new employees, one of which was an admin assistant. So that way he doesn't have to continue to keep answering the calls. And when he finally took his first vacation with his family of 5 for the first time in 10 years, he went back to his business and everything was still there and didn't burn to the ground like it usually did anytime he would just take a day off. But this time he actually took 10 days off. And his receptionist, or his admin that he hired to answer those phones, because of the profit from the marketing and advertising, she kept everything together. Now, Mr. Smith is looking at 2024 and looking to double down on some of the campaigns that we have going for him, because we know with the data in his tracking and the use of his admin system and the CRM, what's working and what's not. Those are 2 drastically, completely different ways of telling the exact same story. The one is a bunch of BS that might catch people's attention, might get you a couple quick wins, quick clients, but you're basically just full of crap because it happened one time for one person in one place 10 years ago. The other one, if I am a business owner, that's an ideal client, a contractor, whatever industry, again, you're going after, and I'm listening to that story that I just told about Mr. Smith, the connection is so much deeper than just seeing something, because most people see results or case studies or whatever that you get for clients. And let's just say you're using the crazy, stupid results of, oh, I got this company from 1 million to 10 million or 20 million or whatever. People are like, wow, that is such a far distance from where I'm at right now. That's too good to be true. I won't be able to afford that. And it doesn't actually make any sense. Whereas the flip side, if I tell the actual story about Mr. Smith, the non-sexy one, but the human-to-human interaction one, I'm literally reading that as a potential business owner and being like, man, I'm a business owner that my business owns me. I'm the one answering all the calls. I haven't taken a vacation with my family in a very long time. Ultimately, I've been screwed over by marketing companies. And then you start to see and you start to really like pull the heartstrings and connect with that person through Mr. Smith's story. But the other one, again, might get you some quick wins and some quick results because you're just selling, but it's ultimately not going to get you the right client for the right reasons in the right mindset. So when you switch those things up and you actually tell a story, the sales are going to come. Not as quick, not as fast, not as sexy, but they're going to come. You just have to be willing to put the work in and master the art of storytelling by thinking about them before thinking about you. By thinking about them before thinking about you, and then crafting the way you talk, the way you write, the way you speak from stage, the way you're a guest on podcasts, in the manner in which other people would want to consume that information by not getting sold. So Johnny asked the question, so minimal about you, more how you met them, lean heavy on his results. So exactly. Think about why you would do business with you if you weren't you. I'll repeat that again. Think about why you would do business with you if you weren't you. So put yourself in your ideal client's shoes. And now this is also kind of a gut check as well. Would you be that person that sees that shiny object, that sees the bogus stats, that sees the sexy pitch and jump at that, even though you know it's too good to be true? You probably can't afford it. It doesn't make sense. It's not actually good for your business, and that person is full of crap. Or are you the person that is sold by a good story? The person that's like, man, I want the human to human interaction. I want to buy from somebody that's going to shoot me straight. And at times I've been the person where I'm like, man, that sounds so good to be true. I'm going to buy it. You know, the crazy Hormozy offer. Nothing wrong with those types of offers, but like 9 times out of 10, there's storytelling that either goes along with it or it's just too good to be true. So exactly. More about how you meet them where they're at, and then lean heavily on the story behind the results. The $1 million in business for marketing and whatever the widget is, right? That's great. But the story behind what that did for the business owner is going to get you more clients that are in that exact same position for whatever reason. Hope that helps, Johnny. Great question. So Tim asked, this is great, Adam. Curious, how would you go about this if you don't have a history of success with clients because you are a new agency? Great question as well. So I would be doing a couple of different things. One, I would be offering some sort of like free testimonial or free services or severely discounted services or something to be able to get those types of case studies, those types of stories, and document the entire process. So if I was starting over literally day one, Tim, I would go find a bunch of clients I could do some free work for. And what I would do is I'd be like, hey, Tim, this is literally what I'm looking to get out of this. I understand what you're looking to get out of this, but I want to let you know what I'm looking to get out of this. I don't have, and I would be fully transparent, I don't have a lot of clients. I'm just getting started. So my goal is to obviously grow this business as you've grown yours, but I'm not there yet. I want to provide you X, Y, and Z for free for 90 days, 6 months, whatever. And my goal is to document the entire process and have you be a raving fan. And I want to be able to document the entire journey so then that way I can go share it, let people know exactly what it is like to work with me, and to shout from the rooftops the results of which I've gotten for your business. Now, of course, I have to do the work. I have to deliver the results. This has to work for you. I'm not going to ask you to say anything or do anything that wasn't real, but I want to see if that would be a fair trade-off. 99.9% of the population, Tim, is going to say exactly just that. The second thing is, Tim, I would be very, very open with your content as you're trying to just get content out there of where you're at in your journey. So when I was growing my business in the very beginning, I was telling people, hey, I just have 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 clients. And what that does is it helps people understand that you are a growing business and they might be in a similar situation. So they might want to work directly with you as the business owner, right? Usually when you're starting your agency and you're doing all those things, there's more opportunities. You might get a little bit better of a one-to-one situation, right, Tim? So there's a lot of compelling reasons why a business might sign up with you. Of course, there's pros and cons to literally every situation of working with a small agency, large agency, freelancer, and everything else in between. But where most people go wrong in the personal branding process, Tim, is that they don't tell people where they're at. And they try to be someone or a company that they're not. And when you do that, it's under false precedent that you end up taking on the wrong clients for the wrong reasons, and you have headaches. So I would just do that first thing, take a couple clients on for free. So then that way you have case studies and testimonials and all those things, and ask them to document the entire process. And then in your content, in all those things, when you're networking, when you're shaking hands, when you're asking for referrals, all of those things, I just tell people, here's where I'm at. Here's what the vision is, but here's where I'm at right now. Here's exactly what I can do for you right now that I can know I can knock it out of the park for you. Don't overpromise. Don't overpromise, because ultimately when you overpromise, you're typically going to underdeliver. I would set very, very minimalistic goals and expectations. That might turn some people away, but then again, you're not going to overpromise and underdeliver. So I hope that helps. Great question though, Tim. So we're wrapping up here today. If there's any other questions or anything else that you all have, feel free to drop those in the comments. Hope this was beneficial. So if you're still watching, or if you're watching the replay, definitely let me know your feedback. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit behind the scenes of stuff that we do in our mastermind. Every single Tuesday, I do this free training, and on Wednesday, we go in our small group and we literally break down this session. So last week, we broke down speaking opportunities. I kind of broke some questions down a little bit deeper. And then I had everybody go around, hey, where are you at in your speaking journey? Where do you want to go? And how can we help you get there? And it's super impactful. So tomorrow, what we're going to do is I'm going to open up with some questions about what we just talked about today. I'm going to talk about, again, the reason, and I'm literally going to be doing that session about 30 to 45 minutes before I actually go on stage at an event. And then I'm going to be like, hey, based on what I just talked about yesterday and what I answered my questions on today, where are you at in your storytelling journey with your content? And where can we help you get better? Where can we help you craft your story differently than what you're doing today? And this took me a long time to figure out, because I couldn't fathom making posts and being a storyteller with communication. Because we live in this world where unless it's like the cool, fast, sexy, crazy looking widget, people, their attention spans aren't there, right? But those typically, again, lead to short-term success where I'm playing the long game. So once I realized that the art of storytelling and the importance behind storytelling and communication, whether written, whether in text, whether in video content, whether speaking on stage, that was actually playing the long game and connecting me to more people that I actually want to do business and do life with, that's when the light bulb went off. Anybody can throw up some sexy copywriting and try to sell somebody something that they actually don't have or can't produce on or know that's not real. Happens, we see it literally all the time. But very few people can connect with their audience on a deeper level and truly tell them the story in which they want to hear when they want to hear it. And it's not that you can't have the results and the sexy and the compelling stuff. I'm going to have a bunch of that in my talk tomorrow. But I'm also going to be talking about the pain, the suffering, the all those things that go into example for my talk tomorrow is how to dominate online in 2024 with digital marketing. People struggled in 2023. There's all these heartaches and pains of working with marketing companies and throwing money against the wall. Like, we're going to touch on those things because, again, it's going to have people connected to the story, right? But you can't have one without the other. You can't have storytelling without actually a good thing to sell and something to close on, right? But you can't have storytelling and you can't have selling alone on its own, right? It's got to be a lot of storytelling, a lot of stuff to grab people's attention. Everybody loves a good story. Nobody wants to be sold. Everybody loves a good story. Nobody wants to be sold. Focus on that with all of your content. Not only will you sell more, will you get more engagement and grow your business, but you're going to be such a more effective communicator. You're going to be an incredible podcast guest. You're going to be able to speak on stage with confidence like you've never seen before. You're going to start writing and realize, oh my gosh, I want to write a book, or I want to write more long form content, or I want to get more involved doing X, Y, and Z. And if you struggle with these things, right, go live on Facebook. Do exactly what I'm doing right now. Go ask people to be on their podcasts. Do more reels. There's so many different ways where you don't have to literally be speaking on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people in order to perfect your craft, right? So I'll leave it with all that stuff there today. Hope this was helpful. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. If you have any questions about Builders of Authority and that stuff, just let me know. We are going to be going live here and again about another 30 minutes with Sebastian and I with a big announcement. So thank you all for tuning in, but you're going to be even more excited about what we're announcing later today. See you soon.